All right, so we'll start standing and we're going to explore a little bit of our fascia and our nervous system interweaving. There's a term, neuromyofascia, which is um, very, very common and used these days, which is our nervous system tissue as one whole layer that permeates everywhere. Muscle tissue, we're really one muscle in many pockets rather than individual muscles. It's continuous, bigger and smaller, and it's packaged that way by the connective tissue, the fascia. So that's one web of architecture, so neuromyofascia. Taking a moment to just notice your starting point, how you feel. All that we feel is actually through the nerve endings in the tissue. So this is our nervous system having its little, tributary radar in the connective tissue, not actually our muscles. So having that sense is maybe interesting. Notice your breath. And let's start with a little jiggle, and we're going to keep it a little bit soft and buoyant, bouncy. So whatever that is, rather than kind of fast. And really feeling all the way from the sole of your foot or feet in the floor, the ability for your joints to kind of fold and unfold. And there's a little bit of elasticity happening. We call this elastic recoil as one term. That is our fascia. And you'll notice that, of course, the joints are where things move and fold. So just, the elbows are kind of an obvious place to feel that. But see if you can also feel that in the lower body. You might shift weight so that it's not entirely symmetrical, but not entirely on one. So maybe it's, 70-30, and think, okay, ankles, fold, unfold, knees, fold, unfold, hips. Even a little bit of the spine. So there's this a bit maybe of a release of the belly and the heart and a rebound. There could be other ways to describe. There's not only one way. Maybe a little bit of like nodding. That's kind of a fold and unfold. And start to just play with your shape with the same quality. If you really want to go fast, of course, please listen to your body. Sometimes I feel like this is the monkey pace. A few more breaths. How can it be? Recycling of the letting go. We have gravity pulling us down, and what's called ground reaction force is the rebound. There's, for every reaction, there's an equal opposite reaction, right? How can you let it help you? A good suggestion would be to tip a little bit towards the side, like you're listening to the ground. It could be up high. Last few breaths. And then let's just give a little bit of release to one leg, but see if it can still be, sorry, my lighting, still this fold and unfold. So I'm not actually working the lifted leg that much. I'm just kind of guiding the recycling. It's a little bit like you're pawing the floor. Let it fall and rebound, fall and rebound. Other side. So one of the other pieces of how we keep our fascia really healthy is that it actually doesn't like really deep stretches, but especially to begin. So anything that's shaking and bouncy, really wonderful. Let it slow down and just notice what you feel, maybe warmer, maybe faster breath, faster heartbeat. And then let's tap. We can tap with the fingers, the knuckles, the hand, and start around the skull. as you move, and you can move in any position, in any shape as we go through the body, waking up a different set of proprioceptors or interoceptors. We're going to trace all through the face. And while we're doing this, you are looking for what feels pleasurable and comfortable. And also be curious with your fingers. Like, where's the bone? Where's the soft parts? Around the throat, collarbone. Our shaking and our tapping wake up different types of nerve endings down the arm. And also help our fascia to feel its tone resonance, we could say. If we think of the body as an instrument, the way we could string a guitar like too tight or too loose, this helps our system feel, its own tuning. Deep breath, other side. Your pace and intensity is up to you. That's also related to the tuning of your own body. We're going to be working with a few different types of tactile interaction. Feel free to stretch and yawn through the whole. But this is just our getting it warmed up. Tap your sternum. I almost missed it because of the mic. Tap your sternum. And around the belly. Around your hips. Down the legs. Could be alternating, could be the same. As you come down, let yourself fold and unfold. And down the legs in a different place, folding and unfolding. One more time. And then a little round of applause on a foot. You can use something for balance, one hand or both hands. And the other foot. Anything that's left out. Oh, sacrum, I almost forgot. And lower back. A moment to notice. Breathe through your nose. So as we play today, one thing to just be tuned into is the diaphragm at the lower ribs is in the center of the body, and our freedom to breathe in both our rhythm, natural rhythm, not forced, and spatially will be a good sign of the tuning the tone throughout. So if I choose something and I can breathe easily there, that's a good sign. If I choose something and I can't breathe, not a good sign. Just explore that a little bit. And we're going to use now our hands like a full touch on the body. So it could be light and it can hold. It could be strong and it can hold. It can be light and it can move. It could circle. It could squeegee. It could massage. So full touch, varying, soft and strong, slow and steady, stillness, or even fast. And start to feel the shapes of your bones. We'll just start on our arm because it's right there. The places that are soft, the places that are, hard or bony. And then let your arm move in relation to that. And then we can swap hands. And just take a moment with the arms. We're going to explore more of this, but let's stay where we can see what's happening for a moment. Spread your fingers. Be curious, like if you just somehow you were, your favorite animal and you just turned into a human and you're trying to figure out how this limb connects. Like, what is going on here? Breathing freely. You can be upright, you could be going down, but we're still just really tuning into the curiosity of one hand and the arm responding. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this in a second. And more breaths. And again, it could be like waiting. How are they changing roles? Can you be tuned into both the giving and the receiving, the information that you're getting on both ends of the hand and the receiving parts? And then finish with just a little love up in the upper trapezius collarbones, a little scrub. And notice how your shoulders, arms feel compared to your legs. So when we have touch, the nervous system registers both more information so that our awareness can track more of ourselves where we are, more accurate. It feels safer. It allows things to open in a really easy way. And it also is a very helpful way to get into the presence of the curiosity, and we're not thinking through the mechanics of the movement. And there's something really amazing about the patterns and pathways it sets us up for, which tend to be really well organized. We'll get more into detail later about that. But I want us to explore this kind of thing through the whole body, but we'll do pieces at a time before we kind of open it up. And then I'm going to add one more thing, is to hum as little or as much as you like. So this fascial system, let's just take a couple hip circles. I share this last piece. This fascial system also responds to sound. Other way. And the jury is out of whether it's like chicken or the egg. Like, is it actually just our nervous system responding to sound? There's some research around the vagus nerve and the humming and the toning that happens through the vocal cords and that kind of thing. Or is it actually through the fascia system? Because the tone, the actual pressure and tension is felt through our tissue, through the actual connective tissue to the nervous system. So we're still figuring this out, but it has an effect on the whole physical body opening too. So let's rub our hands. Feel like your hands are an extension of your heart. And just let them open out to the side a little bit until you find your peripheral vision with your fingers. And I just love this as a way to open our awareness. You can kind of trace the peripheral vision. Soften your jaw. Let your gaze be soft. So as we flow through this task, game, exercise, I want us to be in this more open space than like a narrow focus. And take those hands to your hip. And just be curious, like where's the shapes? How does that respond in movement as I explore the landscape? Like it's, mountains, valleys. Do I want to settle in? Do I want to stretch? Do I want to fold and unfold? Maybe you want to stay on one side for a second. Does that leg want to come up? Does it move the rest of your body? Do you want to go down to meet it? Do you want to put it on something? Listen to what feels good. Asymmetry is a suggestion. Remember that you can be soft, you can go strong, you can go quickly, you can go with one hand. Give yourself a few more moments just to explore what's possible. What's the response? And then make your way to the second hip. And as you do you feel different in one leg than the other? Have you hummed? I haven't. I forgot because I was talking too much. If other sounds spontaneously arise, wonderful as well. Maybe you want to stay at a place that needs love and hum to it. Maybe you want to scrub a little bit on the bones, the sacrum. Awesome. And then let's take the upper and lower and connect them. So I'm going to bring one hand and come from the other hand, shoulder, across to the hip and down that leg. And I really want to just have us have a felt sense of like an X marks a spot through the torso. So again, taking whatever pathway and time and pressure across to your opposite hip and then down and move in a way that you can make the whole pathway. And then the other side. Maybe it's a yawning stretch. Maybe you get down into something like a lunge or a squat. It's like sneaky squats, right? And a couple times crossing, finding a little different way that your whole movement can express. Don't think hard. Feel like you're just like, oh, what is this bodysuit? With a humming. Mm. I'm aware that the Zoom might not hear me humming, but you can feel yours. Mm. One more time each side. Mm. Mm. Take a moment and just have a little walk and notice the overall quality, sensation, feeling. Mhm. So we're going to play in this realm and open it up a little more. If there is a part of your body that needs more attention, feels more like it needs healing, feels a little stiffer, you can really hone in there. I'd like us to explore thinking of linking the upper, lower, and the crossing, but a little bit more free. You don't have to stay standing. We could come down, but I want us to feel like being in contact with ourselves is how we're going to find different places. You don't have to come down. You could stay up and explore different positions. Both hands can be moving, but they don't have to be all the time. And you're writing these rivers, these landscapes of your body. And one thing that happens is there's a lot of things to track. So don't get overwhelmed, but let yourself just try to track and feel as much as possible with that open attention. We're not trying to focus in, we're just following, which is A really beautiful way to really get into presence. Still tuning in, breath is free in space and time. Humming here and there or everywhere. And just observing how your instinctual body, because there's intelligence in this neuromyofascial system, responds. Is it soft? Is it yawning quality? Is it that folding, unfolding? Go at a pace that you can be attuned to, not lose yourself. Thinking of inner flow, non-linearity, folding and unfolding in spirals, perhaps. Empty the jaw. Mm. Laying. This could be a long exploration, but I want us to dive in a few more minutes, maybe. I really get curious. Mm. Stay simple. If you have both hands, you can be curious about how they are communicating through the places that they're at. How do those places in the body move away or towards each other? Mm. Feel like your inner shape is pushing against and meeting your hands. Does that change things? Oh. Mm. Jaw empty. Is there any place that has not been spoken to that is calling for attention? Mhm. Open attention without focusing. Last minute. Mm. Then don't stop moving. Let your hands be free and in the peripheral of your vision. And just take a little walk, or you can continue in the shapes. And imagine now that the air is what you're pushing up against, like your hands. So we've woken up a sensitivity, hopefully, in the whole. And as you move in a simple way, can you feel the volume of you, the breath of you, this buoyancy, maybe, the open attention? Empty your jaw. And in the next 5 moments, kind of let that settle. Hmm. And in this sensitivity, let's tune into our head for a moment. So without locking the joints, we're soft in the joints. That might mean a micro bend in your knee. Let yourself nod very small, slow. And I'm wondering if you can feel the weight of your head like it's it's a mass on the top, right? And see if you might notice the tone, again, this instrument that we are, in the back of your neck in particular, as your head drops. Does it feel like it's holding your head? Like for me, I can feel more tone back there because the muscles turn on. And then when I lift up, there's a place where it feels lighter in the back. And just see if you can notice. It's subtle, it's very subtle. We've woken up our subtlety. If you feel that, then also can you feel the eyes in the sockets? Looking down or letting the chin lift, feeling as if they could drop back. So that when we look down, and we tend to get really used to this place, right? We can actually tune in that there's more tension than we need. There's more tone than we need in the neck. And the eyes feel heavy. And you might even feel the muscles around your eyes straining. And then lifting the chin a little. There's a place, where is yours, is the question, where the back of the neck feels lighter and the eyes sink back and the muscles around the eyes feel lighter. See if you can just find that for yourself. I know this is a life practice for me. And then let that be a little place of play as we fold and unfold from the knees. Jaw go. Trying to feel the whole for just a moment. Mhm. Okay. So part of this overall tuning is what we're playing with today is also the ability to absorb force. Force is many things. Gravity is there. And also feel the buoyancy, right? This dropping into gravity and the ground reaction force, which is always there. It's not just our folding. It's always there. Otherwise, we'd be a puddle. Um, so let's play a little bit more active. And we're still in the hole. And if you want to use your hands, you can. But thinking of the balls of the feet as the like a radar, a pad to feel the ground, and the foot like a little dome. So we think of arches and we think of the middle and the outside and the cross because we have this grid, Cartesian grid, but we're not. We're really a dome. It's really like a frog pad. So that when we step, the dome dampens and then rebounds. And we can sense this. I would like you to be curious if you can sense the rebound kind of funneling up through the interior of you, all the way up through this little sensitivity in the head. And we're going to play a little bit on the balls of the feet. We don't have to be super high, but we don't want to land and stop on the heel. A little bit on the balls of the feet and tipped forward, shifting around. We're going to add to this, but I want to feel comfortable. And if your heel touches for a second, that's fine. I don't want you to strain to stay on the balls, but just a little bit more tendency towards this forward. And a little bit of a more active bounce, we could say, than where we started. I like to also feel my hands as a reminder. It's like little hand signals. You don't have to. One of my teachers, Claire, she loves this. She's always bouncing. If this is at all tiring, you could be a little bit more supported on one leg and just feel like one leg. What's the fold and unfold, fold and unfold, fold and unfold through the hole, like we're a big, very loose accordion. And let's just do a little side to side, like we're ready. We're ready to go somewhere. And when we're doing this side to side, again, your pace, you get to choose. I want to explore what can we do to shift from one to the other and keep all the joints feeling like they are unkinked hoses. Even though they're folding and unfolding, how can we lean? How can we listen? How can we tune in that we're toning now? We're turning on the myo part, the muscle part of the neuromyofascia to get a little more strength evenly. Maybe you want to reach and play with this space a little bit. Breathe through your nose, breath is free. Sense of filling like a balloon. So we're not collapsing to gravity, we're filling. And we're not holding in the top. We're letting that little tiny fold and unfold at the neck happen. If you feel anything in the front of your hips, lean more. When in doubt, stick it out. Get those glutes working. Last few, ready to go any direction. So now side to side, but you can change your place and at a pace that you can feel everything. Last few moments. How does the rest of your body respond? Can you remember the feeling of the hands? Like you could feel the air, you could push into it. Mm-hmm. Is your awareness still open attention, not focusing on anything? And then slow it down. Slower, smaller, but almost like you're taking it inside. Almost like you're taking it inside. And maybe close your eyes. Let your hands land anywhere they feel called, whether it's like more love or just centering, and feel a conversation through that touch. And let's slowly let them travel. And we're going to make our way to the floor in like 10 breaths. If there's something that got a little like confused, a little telling you some messages, you can give some extra love there. Or a little slower, stronger pressure, maybe. Might feel those crossing pathways. Curious, interested how our first passes might have informed, opened possibilities for our ready, play, jumping around movement. And how can this take us down to the ground? Mhm. Mhm. Lots of ways, lots of ways. Make it sweet, make it easy. And when we're down, let's have our legs out in front. And the suggestion could be that they could be bent. We're going to be moving them, but this is a nice place so that we can keep the lumbar curve without a lot of effort there. And let's have one hand on each leg. And we're going to have one coming in, one coming out. Notice what that does to your torso. We have a little rotation, a little side bend. We're going to let that follow. And one coming in, one coming out. And then let's have the one coming in, extend your leg because you've got more room. And then the hand going out to your foot, bend that knee to bring your foot in. And we're going to change. So, yeah. And then notice what that's doing to your spine. Oh, and maybe go into it a little bit with your spine. Good for the brain. Don't think about it too much. Once you start to feel, it's a pattern that's inside of us. It's like walking. And it actually sets up this alternation. It really sets up a wonderful, what we call lateral osculation. No test, no test to come, but that our spine, when it side bends, also has a counter rotation. And it's so good for us and for our nervous system. So is this crossing kind of pattern. Let's see if we can explore. And I don't have like an answer for this. This is a total like, let's see together if we can take this down to lay down. Maybe that means I'm going to go to the side. Maybe that means I'm going to go slowly back and let my feet come off the floor. You figure out yours. Oh, what is it like to come down to the floor? And then what is it like to continue that here? So I have one hand on each, and the one that's going to my foot, the leg is going to fold in and come closer. And the other leg is free. It can go up, it could go down, and have just a few to be like a child exploring. Asymmetry is the basis. And moderate angles. We're not trying to do anything crazy. Moderate can be personal, personal opinion on there. And if you find any places you want to stay, you're like, oh, this is like a lunch or happy baby, and I want to hang out, enjoy. Stay a little on both sides. Even if it's a familiar place, expanding our ways in and out is one of the ways both nervous system and tissue can have more adaptability. And it's actually the way that our body is the fastest way to change habits and learn new things. So feel free to keep playing or give yourself one last sweep. I like to sweep from the whole body here so we can go into rest. So I have one hand on each foot. I'm just going to let my hands come up my legs and then across through the center to the opposite shoulders and down the arms. That was so nice. Let's do it one more time. Hands to the same side feet. Maybe it's a different pathway you're going to take on your legs with love in your hands through the hips, crossing in the belly or the heart, the opposite shoulders. You can give a little hug and then come out through your arms, feeling that opening to the periphery, opening to rest. In any position, it could be here, could be rocking on your side. Notice the places of contact and the places in between them that are more spacious. The way that our body landscape of the mountains and the arcs and the curves meets the earth. And now letting gravity win a little more. And the awareness, follow your next inhale inside yourself for a few moments. Relax your forehead and your tongue and your jaw. Relax the corners of your eyes, the corners of your mouth. Feel your masses on the floor, the head, the rib basket, the pelvic bowl, your limbs. And have a sense of this mysterious intelligence within you that has been formed in conversation with gravity, as an emergent self assembly from the intelligence of our tissues, of our life force. And you're welcome, of course, to stay and rest if you're in your home. Slowly come back. And maybe there's a new way back. Maybe you like the touch. Take your time and see how you can collaborate with gravity. Where's the easiest place where you feel the whole full volume of your tuned, and even tone tension. And my hope is that a little playful, a little different, but my hope is that we have woken up the radar externally and internally to better navigate your day without needing to think about it, trusting your body will know. And just to also leave with one little idea that even just a little touch with attuning into the quality, pressure, and listening of the touch can be super powerful for places that are in a healing process, whether it's just that or before movement. So play with it, try it on, and we'll keep playing in the nervous system and fascia next week.